Hey neighbor, thank you for joining me for tonight's free card class. I'm Alicia Dolan and we are here at Creating in My Corner, which is my little craft corner in the basement where I do most of my stamping and other crafts too. I'm going live a little bit early tonight because we have some other plans later. And so I didn't want to cancel or postpone because usually when I do that, it's really hard to get back in step with things. So what I wanted to do was come live a little bit early, and hopefully you can join me in creating tonight's card. And if you miss any part of this video, I always post it on, well, let's not say always, but I do generally post over on YouTube so that later on you can follow along with me. I don't see any comments yet, but we are going to continue. We're going to continue with the Frosted Forest bundle just because I love it so much. So if you saw my last video, you probably saw the cards that we made. We had 4 really pretty cards. Let's see. I always get them the wrong way when I'm showing them in the video. So here is the first one. And actually 2 of these were in my video. Okay, so those first 2 I did in our last free class video. Here's another one. Now this one I actually made in the in-person class, but the instructions I sent out in the last email for all 4 of these cards. Okay, and here is the last one. One of these days I'll be able to figure out how to show this so you can see it. That day is not today. But at least you can kind of see. When I turn the camera down, it's a lot easier for me to figure out which way to hold them. For some reason, when I'm holding them up, they're always either crooked or backwards. So tonight we're going to continue with our Frosted Forest bundle. I'm going to switch the camera around, and last time we did do some cards, but they were not necessarily any specific season. Tonight I really wanted to do a fall card with you, so that's what that's gonna be our attempt tonight. So what I want to do first is, these are the colors that I got out to use. If you can see that, I've got Early Espresso, Crumb Cake, Cherry Cobbler, Pumpkin Pie, and Daffodil Delight. And then we're going to need some sponge daubers. I have some of those right over here. And hopefully I put away all my colors. It doesn't look like I did because I think I'm missing a few. But I actually just put these in one of those blending brush baggies, and then I can just toss them in whenever I go someplace to craft, or if I'm just crafting here in the corner. So first, we need a card base, and I thought we would go with crumb cake. So we're going to get out our piece of crumb cake. I've got all kinds of little extra pieces here. And we're going to cut it at 5.5. So we're going to have, our card's going to be 5.5 by 8.5. And then we're going to turn it sideways, and we're going to score it at 4.25. Okay, and then we can fold this card right in half and press it down with our bone folder. I hope that you can follow along with me if you're crafting along tonight. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this card and we're going to make another score mark. So we're going to score it at 2 3/4 on the front. 2, is that right? No. I'm trying to think what's half of 5 1/4. I think it would be 2 3/4. Okay, we're going to try it. And if not, we have lots more card stuff. All right, 2 3/4. No, that's definitely not right. All right, let's see. It'd be 4 1/4. So that's why it's wrong. Okay, so we're going to try that again. And it's going to be at 2 1/8. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Okay, and then we're going to fold it back this way. Okay, so now our card base looks like this. All right, and we're going to press that down with our bone folder because we want our crease to be nice and tight. All right, and then we're going to need a piece for the inside. And I have my little stash over here. Of white pieces. And I'll show you again my little stash. So I always keep a little bunch of 5 1/4 by 5. All right, these are 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. So this is not for the inside of the card. This is actually for when I'm putting together kits for people to stamp. And then I have 4 by 5 1/4. And I have one envelope that has 3 1/4 by 5 and 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. These are all sizes that I use really often. So when I'm cutting them, I always cut a couple sheets instead of just cutting one. But for this one, we are going to use 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside. All right, and then next, we're going to want a piece that is, let's see, I think we want it to be 3 3 3/4 by 5. Let's try that. And let's let it be in, shall we have it be in crumb cake? I think maybe we'll do early espresso. Oh, that's not it. I must have already got it out somewhere and I don't see it. So maybe we will do early espresso. I don't know. Oh, no, here it is. Sorry, yeah, when you're looking for something, it's never where you're looking for it, right? Usually, I try really hard to put things back where they belong, but it doesn't always work out. Okay, so we're going to do 5 by 3 3/4. So there is my 5. And then we're going to turn it the other way and do 3 3/4. And this is going to be our next piece on here. But I really want to do something different with that. I think I'm going to emboss it with the wood dye. Let's see. I feel like it's called Timber 3D. And so I'm going to put that right in the folder like this, and I'm going to run it through my Big Shot machine in just a second. Okay, and then when I'm done with that, it looks like this. Let's see. Can you see that cool pattern on there? All right, so that is going to go here on the front, and we're going to center it after we center that white piece. And then next, we're going to stamp our tree on a piece of white. All right, and to make it a little bit easier, I kind of want to measure how big this one that we made before is. 4.5 by 3. All right, so, and since this white is 4 3/4, 4.5 would be just smaller, I think. So I need another piece of white. I've got some more here. Can you tell all my stuff is out of sorts? I cannot see any comments, so I hope that you can see me and hear me tonight. And hopefully you are making plans to copy this card and send it out. Okay, so that was 4.5. Let's see, we did what? 3 3/4 by 5. So 4.5 by 3.5. I think it's going to be the right size. I don't think that's quite right. So and if I don't get the measurements right, I will send them all out in a tutorial. That looks a little bit better. Okay. So this piece then is 3 1/4 by 4.5. Okay, that's our white. And this is the part we're going to stamp on. I'm going to pull out my Stampin' Pierce mat. It's looking, my scrap piece is looking pretty shabby, but I'm still going to use it. I like to use things until it's really obvious you cannot use them anymore. All right, and we're going to use this tree here. If you can see that, it's this one, this image. Okay, and that's going to fit on our piece of paper really nice. Let's see. I was missing a few blocks until today. I just found some in a bag that I took somewhere not too long ago. And I have been looking for them all over the place. I knew I had more clear blocks than what were in my little bin, and I couldn't figure out where they went. But they were in my bag. So that makes perfect sense, right? Okay, now we're going to ink up our stamp. And remember, we're going to tap on the ink. We're not smooshing. We are not smooshing the ink, just tapping. All right, and then to just check, we can stamp it here on our piece of scrap paper. And that looks like our image is pretty good. So we're going to ink it up one more time by tapping. And then we're going to stamp on our piece of white, just like that. All right. And we can clean that stamp right off. Okay, and I'm just gonna put it away. We might come back and use it again later, but I want to get it put away so that we are not losing it. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to color this in. So first, I've got some crumb cake here. I'm going to open that up. And then we need to find our little crumb cake sponge stopper. So let's see, basic gray, balmy blue. Oh, that's good. Early espresso. That one looks like gray. And I do not see my little sponge stopper. So hold on a second. I used a couple of them the other day at my class, and I haven't put them back away yet. But I know they're over here. So here is my crumb cake. And over here I've got fussy meadow and smoky slate. But we're not going to make our tree green this time because we want those beautiful fall colors, right? Okay, and here is how we're going to do it. These are the Frosted Forest decorative masks. So you can get this in a bundle. You get the stamp, the dies, and the mask. Or you can get them separately. You can get each thing separately. And what we need, there's three different ones for each type of tree. There are pine trees, and there are this other tree, which I feel like is a maple tree, but I don't know for sure. So that's my best guess. We are going to line it up. Now, did you see that? I put it backwards. So if you are like me, and maybe sometimes you don't choose the right way, up here in the corner where that little notch is, if you look carefully, there's a little number 1. So there's a number 1, a number 2, and a number 3. Then there's an A, a B, and a C for the other tree. So you know which ones go together and which way they go. All right, we're going to line that up with our tree. I'm kind of lining up the trunk and then the top. Okay, and this time I'm just going to try and hold it and stamp. This might not be the wisest choice, but this is the way I'm doing it tonight. So we're going to tap our sponge dauber in our ink, tap it here a little bit on the side, and then we're just going to go ahead and tap all over the openings in the mask. Now, I'm trying to be careful and not move. If you are worried about moving, you can always tape your mask down, which is probably what I should have done. I do have some temporary tape over here. So I'm just kind of smudging it all along that tree trunk. I don't want it to be too dark, but I want it to be, I want it to look like a tree trunk. I think it needs a little bit more here. Okay, I think I've got the little branches pretty good. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to do a little more on the trunk. Because I'd like the trunk to be a little darker than the branches. And I'm not sure why, just I know in my head that's what I want it to be. And because it's my project and my stamping, it can be whatever I choose it to be. And the same is true with you. If you want a purple tree, you can have it. You can make whatever you choose, which is so cool. All right, we are going on to the second one. Now, this is number 2, and this time I may tape it down because I kind of have an idea of what I want it to be, but I haven't used this many colors together before, and I want to spread them around. So over here somewhere, I have some tape. Or someone borrowed my tape dispenser. No, I do have some. I see. It's just out of reach. Okay, so this is just some Scotch removable tape. I just keep it around for mostly for die cutting, but it works good for masks too. Okay. But usually I do keep it over here a little bit closer to me. There's no room for that. I need to clean out. I need a real big clean out. Okay, we need, first we're going to start with the light colors first. So I'm going to start with yellow, and I have a little yellow sponge dauber here. And this is Daffodil Delight. So this is actually a pretty bright yellow, but we're just going to do little bits at a time to add it in. So I'm going to tap it off a little bit on the side here. You could use an acrylic block for this part too. I just am kind of tapping it off so that I get a light, kind of a light yellow. So I'm just tapping it all around. But I'm not covering everything. So can you see that? Let me try and make my camera zoom in a little bit so you can see that better. Oh, I just put it right in the, there's a blind spot right there. Okay, if I zoom in, okay, now hopefully you can see how I'm adding that ink in there. So I'm smudging it here on the side because it's really bright. This yellow is really bright, and I don't want too much yellow in there right away. So I'm kind of trying to get it just little bits here and there. All right, so there is the yellow. I'm going to leave it out because we are probably going to go back to that. Next, I'm going to add some pumpkin pie. So this is definitely an orange color. I need an orange sponge here. What have I got? That one does not tell me what color it is. Pink. All right, here is a cherry cobbler. I'm going to need that one later. Pink. Let's see. This one is Cajun Craze, so that's kind of a, it's kind of a red color, but it doesn't look like it's been used up yet. And I don't have any new sponge daubers left. I have to order a few more. All right, so we're going to do pumpkin pie, and I'm just going to tap it on the, see how bright that is? These are really bright colors. So now we're going to add in some pumpkin pie around here. I really think this looks pretty already. We'll get some around the edges. And I'm trying to blend them a little bit so they kind of mix together. All right, here is our pumpkin pie. And I know if you're watching me, sometimes I say all right or okay, and I probably say it too much. But I haven't gotten comfortable with that little bit of silence in between. Now we're going to add cherry cobbler. And cherry cobbler is a deep sort of red. And you'll see why I'm adding just little bits in a minute here. Because we're going to go back over it with some more color. Okay, so this is our first layer of color. We only have 2 actually for this card. So I'm going to peel up this temporary tape. I'm not doing a very good job. It actually stuck to itself there. All right, and then we're going to put on our final layer. I'm just setting these off to the side. I can wash them off when I'm done or wipe them down with a baby wipe. Either one will work to just clean them off. And this will be the last one. We just need to line it up. It's kind of tricky to get it in just the right spot. I probably should have held that other one. Actually, maybe if I do that and kind of see where it is. Oh, no wonder it's upside down. I did the same thing again. All right. So that's why I couldn't figure it out. So this one would go pretty much right there. This one would go right over top. And I'm just going to tape it here. And then I can carefully lift that up and pull the other one out. And it should be lined up just right, since I lined up those notches. That looks a lot better than where I had it the first time, when it was upside down. Okay, now what I want to do is go back to my yellow, and I'm going to add a little bit more yellow over top of where I had it before. This will just make the color a little bit brighter. So that it stands out a little more. There is our Daffodil Delight. Next is Pumpkin Pie. And can I tell you, I did not have a pumpkin pie ink pad for the longest time. And I was really missing out on these pretty oranges for fall. I did have a Calypso Coral, but it has a hint of pink to it, which is fine. But pink isn't always what you want. Sometimes you need something a little more orange. That's just really orange. And then we're going to do the cherry cobbler one more time. I really love this stamp set, and I cannot wait to use it for some winter cards too, but I'm not ready yet. I feel like fall just got here, and I need just a little time to adjust, to fall before I'm ready for winter. There is our, all right, I'm going to close these up now because I don't think I'm going to use them again. And it's best to close up my inks for two reasons. One, I do not want them to dry out. And two, I have a tendency to either put my elbow in them or lay something on top of them on accident. And then everything ends up being a color I don't intend for it to be. That's not always terrible, but sometimes it does ruin, sometimes it ruins my project. Okay. Sorry, I moved my trash can. It's a little too far away from me. So here is the tree that we end up with. I think that's really pretty. And we'll add some Wink of Stella to it as well to give it a little more color. But first, right down here, I just want to add a little mossy meadow. I'm just going to use Stampin' Blend to do that. So I'm just going to put it a little bit around here like this. I feel like that gives it just enough grounding that it doesn't look like it's standing out in the middle of nowhere. Okay, and that was a Stampin' Blend. So every so often I'll use those just for a little bit of something like this. I'm going to put these masks to the side so I will remember to wash them off, and we can do some more stamping for our card. So this is what we've got so far. And then I want to add a little sentiment on there and possibly some gems. Let's see what we've got. Let's do No Beauty Shines Brighter Than That of a Good Heart, just because I really like that. Really like that. We need a little block to stamp on, and then we can stamp on a piece of white. And let's use our early espresso. Okay, I'm gonna stamp kind of in, not in the middle, but, oh, let me zoom back out. I zoomed in for when we were coloring, but we need to zoom back out. So I'm gonna do my practice stamp. And then I'm gonna stamp kind of close to the edge because I think what I wanna do is punch this out with a circle punch. Okay, let's see what, I think maybe 2 inches will be good, or 1 3/4. Let's try it and see. Okay, this is 1 3/4, and that fits pretty much perfectly. So we do currently have a couple of circle punches. One of them is 1 3/4 and 2 inch. I think 2 1/4 and maybe 2 3/8, but I know for sure 2 3/8. So here is our circle, and then I really like to have kind of a background to my circle. And I have a die set. This one is from Spotlight on Nature Dies. Now, I don't think this is available right now, but it is full of beautiful dies. And I think this one will be perfect. Look at all these lovely circle dies. They're so pretty. There's several different ones, different designs. But this is the one we're going to choose. So I'm going to run this through my Stampin' Up machine, my Big Shot. Oh my gosh, these are so cool. So if you haven't got these, you really want to put these on your list. Sometimes the little pieces stick in there, but look how pretty that is. Can you see that? That is such a pretty little circle. So we're going to put that, and look how nice that 1 3/4 fits in there. It's perfect. Okay, I'm going to put that back away real quick, just so it doesn't get lost. And then we can start putting our card together. Actually, let's, should we stamp a little something on the inside? Maybe this little bird here. That would be cute on the inside. All right, I'm gonna clean that one. I can't remember. I'm going to clean it and put it back. It looks like someone is watching, but I can't see any comments. So if you are watching and you could give me a thumbs up, that will at least let me know that you can hear me. Because I did go live a little bit early tonight. I'm kind of worried that maybe no one can hear me. So here's our little bird, and we'll stamp that on the inside. And again, we're just gonna do our little practice stamp. And we'll put a little bird up here in the corner. And maybe one right down here. I love these. I love this little bird. I love stamp sets with little birds or little animals. Just a little something that adds to your card. I love the trees. I love the nature stamps in general. But I really, as the years have gone by, I've really gotten to like birds. I hear them outside in the morning, and it always reminds me, there was a day when I was walking my daughter, my youngest, to the bus stop, and it was early morning. It was just me and her, and she, I don't know if it was spring or if it was fall. I can't remember for sure. But the birds were just singing beautifully. And she said, "Mom, what is that sound?" And I said, "Well, I think it's the birds singing, Hannah." And she said, "No, it's the sound of joy." And I will never forget that. So now, every time I hear birds singing, that's what it reminds me of. It's just kind of like a bright spot in my memories. It's one of those core memories. I will never forget her saying that. Okay, there is our inside. And then we're gonna, let's see, what are we gonna do? We're gonna glue these together. Mortimer is facing backwards today. He needs to turn himself around. We all have days, right, when we're a little backwards, a little out of sorts. I feel like a lot of days have been like that lately. But like I told you before in my birthday video, I feel like things are turning around. Things are, they're getting better. They're going, not better. I guess they weren't bad, but I have good feelings about this year. I feel like it's going to be a good year. Okay, I want to put this flat on this side of my card. So all I'm going to do is put my glue here on the right side of my embossed cardstock. So, and I do think it's called Timber 3D, but I'm not sure. I can line this up because I'm using liquid glue and just press it down where I want it to be. And I'm just going to glue this one right on top. I love this Frosted Forest bundle. And there is a new catalog coming out really soon. I'm almost sad about it because there are a lot of things that I want to use, but I really, really want to use this Frosted Forest bundle. So I know I'm going to need to get some new things too, but this is just really pretty. And then before we go on, I want to add some Wink of Stella. If I can find my Wink of Stella here. Now, if you've never used Wink of Stella, it's a glitter brush. And so it's not as sparkly as what Stickles would be, but it's very sparkly. Oh, and mine is getting a little bit older, and so sometimes they get stuck. They can't get stuck. So we're just going to color all over our ink. And we have to do it kind of quickly because Stampin' Up! Inks are water-based ink. And what that means is when we use anything that's wet on them, they will bleed or blend. So because Wink of Stella is a wet brush, you can use it similar to a watercolor brush, water painter. But that also means that if we were to color over a certain spot too many times, our paper might wrinkle up because we're using basic white cardstock. But it also, our colors will blend a little more than they would. I don't know if you can see them moving into each other. It's just a slight difference. But they're definitely blending. And I'll try to show you the sparkle when we're done. It's hard to see on camera because it's really a very gentle sparkle. I don't know if that even makes sense. Is that a real thing? Gentle sparkle? I don't know. But that's what it is. That's what I'm calling it. So that must So it must be what it is. Okay, now I'm going to try and show you how pretty that is. I'm not sure if the camera can pick that up. Let's see. I feel like it's right in there somewhere. If you can see that sparkle, let me know. If you can't, maybe I'll have to find a different way of showing it. Maybe it's, can you see it if I hold it really close? I don't know. All right, I'm not going to keep doing that though. But this is turning out to be a really cool card. We're going to add our little sentiment right here. And I'm going to kind of put it off to the side because I don't want to cover up too much of that tree. It's really pretty. But this is really cute too. So we're going to turn it over. And I'm going to get some Stampin' Dimensionals here. And we're going to put just a couple on. You don't need very many. This isn't a really big label. So we'll just put that down in the corner here. I kind of want to put it where all those little dots shine through. But I don't want it to be, what if we put it on this side? I think that'll look good. All right, let's put it right here. And then let's get some little jumps. I just got these, and they're called full glass dots. Now, these are not available until September 3rd, which is Tuesday. So if you like these little pretty dots, on Tuesday, you can check them out. Look how pretty they are. They're not sparkly at all, but they're really pretty colors, and I think they'll go perfectly with our card. Here is my take your pick tool, and I can use that to grab a few of these gems. Well, I think I'd like to have an orange one. And maybe a little yellow. And this other orange. They're probably not all orange. Hold on, I can read you what the colors are in a minute. They are, it doesn't tell me what color they are on here. But I'm guessing maybe Old Olive and Cajun Craze and Pumpkin Pie and Daffodil Delight. That's my guess. Because they're perfect fall colors, really. And I don't know, is that enough gems? What do you think? There's only 3. Might be enough. All right, I'm gonna leave it at that. So I hope that you enjoyed this card tonight. My commitment starts at 6 o'clock, and so I'm gonna let you go for tonight. I will create another card using the same bundle, and I will try to go live another day this week. Tomorrow's going to be kind of busy for me tonight and tomorrow. We have sleepover plans here, and so that's always a lot. It's fun, but it's a lot. I hope that you enjoyed our card tonight and that you will make something with this beautiful Frosted Forest bundle. I'm so glad that you joined me for my Sunday free class. The next one will be, I don't know. It should be the 3rd Sunday in September, but I have a feeling I'm going to be gone that weekend. Let me see. 1, 2, no, I'm not. Okay, so it'll be tonight. So it'll be the 15th will be the free class. And then my next in-person class is actually September 13th. at 11:30. Oh, I see a thumbs up. Thank you. So my next in-person class is September 13th at 11:30. I'm not 100% sure what bundle we'll be working with yet, but I did just get the Autumn Expressions bundle. Now this, again, this is a sneak peek that you would not be able to see. So this is the Autumn Expressions bundle stamp set, has dies that go with it. This is what I'm hoping to use for my in-person class. I love these sentiments. I love the change is beautiful. I love the grateful for you, and have a perfectly lovely day. I love every single one of these. So I hope that you will be able to join me for that, and if not, we'll be doing an online version too. So I will see you again on the third Sunday of the month, which I think we just decided was September 15th. I hope that in the meantime you have found something that you can copy and share. And until I see you again, happy stamping.